text says they've conquered by the blood of the Lamb and the power of their testimony. So there has to be something there that needs to be conquered, some kind of challenge or adversary or obstacle which needs to be overcome. Now this is an obstacle, towering high above the river. Any army moving north or south would need to have this under their control. This is a man-made obstacle, but how is one to overcome this? Well, it turns out that this castle is supplied by an underground stream. Dig up the ground, find that stream, cut off the water, and about 1 week later the castle has to surrender. The lady in our account has a different difficulty. She asks Jesus for help. "Have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David. My daughter is severely possessed by a demon." He answered her not a word. Now perhaps you were taught that sometimes God says yes, sometimes he says no, sometimes he says wait. What about those times when he says nothing? Maybe she should give up. But she doesn't give up. Well, here's another obstacle. This river divides Durham from Yorkshire. About 1,000 years before the Normans came to build the castle, the Romans had to find a way across this river. A river is a natural obstacle, and they are beneficial to society. So the Romans took some of the stones from this side, where it's not very deep at all, and they made it a little bit deeper on this side. And they used those same stones to make it less deep on the other side. So they created a ford, making the depth about 6 inches all the way across. And this is where the Romans crossed the river. The lady in our account faces another obstacle now. The disciples, who should know better, are asking Jesus to send her away. They send her away. Oh, by the way, there's the obligatory shopping trolley in the river. Get rid of her, she's crying after us. She's ruining the carefully planned dignity of the church service. She's making a noise. Throw her out of the cathedral, she wants a miracle. And you might expect churchy people to encourage her to keep going, but they don't always. Mostly they do. But this is another obstacle, and maybe she should give up again. But she doesn't. There are many obstacles in life. I've opted to mention cancer because it's nasty. We've been trying to overcome it for decades. Progress is slow. In some areas there's encouragement, but we make little steps here and there and keep going. Do we press on in the fight against cancer or give up? The lady is given a challenging remark. "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." And this lady's not an Israelite. We might find ourselves asking something similar. Should I really be asking for this? Should I be expecting? Should I keep going? She doesn't really answer his question or allow it to stop her. She knelt before him and said, "Lord, help me." Has she given up? Not yet. The final obstacle of many that could have been chosen is that of addiction. Addiction is most like a swamp. It affects the mind, the emotions as well as the body. And if there's a way into a swamp, there's not an easy way out of it. And for many, it's a trap. The best way to deal with a swamp is not to get into it in the first place, just avoid it. The best way to negotiate a swamp is to go around it. And Our Lady faces one more challenge. Is it right to take the children's food and give it to the dogs? Is it fair that some people who never come to church have answered prayers? God sends his rain on the just and the unjust. Do we begrudge his generosity? She doesn't answer this question, but she comes up with a great reply. "Well, yes, Lord, but a few crumbs might fall off the table." How many people in the Gospels have heard Jesus speak these words to them? Great is your faith. Well, it was great because of what she overcame. Our hero in this account has faced 4 obstacles that we are likely to meet. The silence of heaven, the discouragement of the disciples, the idea that she doesn't belong to the right group, and the idea that overcoming is not for her as an individual, and she has prevailed. She's conquered by the blood of the Lamb and the power of her testimony. Amen.